Hey guys, what is going on? This is Travis P11. If you don't know who I am, I'm a firearms content creator who produces firearms content on various social media platforms like Gunstreamer, UGEtube, GunTube.org, etc. And today I want to share with you my top 10 list of things to do while you're stuck at home, gun-related things that you can do while you're stuck at home during, say, a time of pandemic, or maybe you're just homesick and so on, and you got nothing to do. Well, hopefully I can give you some good ideas, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so to start things off, number 10 on the list is reloading. Okay, now if you've got the components sitting around the house, or even if you don't, you can get the components online. You can have them delivered directly to your home. Unfortunately, the panic buying in the ammunition world is starting to catch up with the reloading world, if it hasn't already by the time you guys see this video. But again, if you've got the time and you've got the tools and you're just sitting around doing nothing, you might as well go ahead and roll out a few rounds for next fall's deer hunt or maybe your next range session, and you're good to go. Now, you can't have all those components delivered, like I said before. Unfortunately, sometimes there is a hazmat fee that you have to pay with things like the powder that you use for reloading, but places like Brownells occasionally have like a 1 cent hazmat fee purchasing weekend where you can get the components you need without having to pay that fee, which saves you like $20 or $30 depending on the shipper, and you're all set to go. So there you go. You got the time. Sit around, pop the radio on, grab a cup of coffee, and do some reloading. All right, so number 9, if you already do number 10, number 9 isn't necessarily going to pertain to you, but if you don't, learn how to reload. All right, do some time, do some research, look into the round that you want to reload, check out the cost of the component, see what it's going to cost you in the long haul. You know, you might have a few calibers that are pretty pricey to purchase, you know, brand new right off the shelf, see what the difference in price is going to be if you do the reloading on your own. Get yourself a good reloading manual, call up a local bookstore, see if they've got a used copy of a reloading manual that you can purchase, do a curbside pickup, you're all set to go. Okay, so number 8 is something that I absolutely love to do. Clean those guns. When's the last time you got that hunting rifle out, or when's the last time you took that gun apart that you just absolutely cannot stand to disassemble and clean? Put on some music, grab a cup of coffee, get those guns out, get those cleaning supplies out, take your time, do it the right way, and get those guns cleaned up. Check out those internals, make sure everything functions properly. If you've got a decent collection of firearms sitting around, you know, chances are you got a couple hours of work ahead of you, and that's a good way to burn a Sunday afternoon or a weekend. Number 7, okay, let's face it, we are a nation of stuff. We've got boxes all over the place, and if you're a gun person, chances are even worse. So what I want you to do is to open up the door to the she shed or the man cave, go in there, go through, start to organize those boxes of holsters. Do you have any maybe that you can sell and move out? How about those old boxes and manuals? You got stuff sitting around all over the place. Take all those manuals, maybe stuff them into some baggies and kind of put them out of the way so they're organized. Check out the boxes. Do you even have those accessories anymore? Open them up, see if there's anything in there. If you don't, recycle those boxes. You're all set to go. Get that man cave or she shed all cleaned up. Get it organized. We just moved into a place recently here, and I was a little ashamed at how messy the man cave had gotten before we moved out. All the stuff I had sitting around. Go through all those different items and accessories. You might find some parts and components you didn't know you had, and who knows? Maybe you'll have enough to assemble yourself another AR-15. God knows I could. Okay, so for number 6 here, we're going to get just a little bit more serious. You know, we do live in some somewhat troubling times right now, and let's hope that things don't get any worse than they currently do. You know, we're talking coronavirus 2020, right? So do you know how to defend your home? All right, if somebody were to kick in the door right now, let's say you had yourself a home invasion, what would you do? Do you have a firearm readily accessible? Do you know the shooting angles in your home? Do you know what's on the other side of the walls of your home or apartment building? If you don't, now might be a good time to do some research into home defense, apartment defense, room defense, and so on. There's a ton of videos online that you can watch. Definitely give yourself a breadth of knowledge. Don't just stick with one particular channel on YouTube or wherever you get your information. Learn about some CQB tactics. Do you have a firearm set up for home defense? Do you have yourself a suppressor? If not, now might be a good time to look into getting one. Okay, so number 5 is one that you definitely want to do with a little bit of caution, okay? Dry fire on the bad guys. No, I don't want you to just point your firearm at anybody that looks kind of scary and pull the trigger. What I want you to do is to take your firearm, unload it, especially if you're a first-time gun owner, this is going to be good practice for you. Unload the firearm, check the chamber, make sure that the firearm is in fact unloaded, put the ammunition in a different room, all right? Make sure the gun is clear. Pop on an episode of The Walking Dead and shoot some zombies. Whether you got yourself a double action or a single action, get used to that trigger. If you got yourself a new firearm, you might not be used to it. You might have only put 50 rounds through it at the range, and you put that gun back into a drawer or safe or whatnot. Do some practicing. Do some dry firing. Now, I do want you to read the manual or go online and do some research. Make sure that your firearm is, in fact, safe to dry fire. If it isn't, or another thing you can do is pick up some dummy rounds, and those allow you to practice. They've got some springs in the back where the primers would be, and those those allow you to practice dry firing in your home safely, consider picking some of those up. If you've got an older military surplus gun, I can't necessarily recommend that you do dry fire unless you've got those dummy rounds. And even then, you might want to make sure that it's going to be good to go. So number 5, practice dry firing. Learn that trigger on your firearm. It doesn't matter what it is, and shoot some zombies in the process. All right, so number 4 on the list, research your next firearm. What have you been interested in purchasing, but you just haven't really had a chance to do any kind of information searching on? Look that gun up, do some window shopping, check out the prices. If you can find a good enough deal on it, go ahead and order it. Now, there is a bit of a nationwide shortage on firearms as of March of 2020. Don't worry, eventually those firearms are going to come back in stock. They always do, okay? And remember, if you do purchase guns online, obviously they have to be shipped to a gun dealer, an FFL distributor who you will go to pick up the firearm from. No, you cannot have it delivered directly to your house for those of you that might be first-time gun buyers. I know, surprised, right? Well, there was a time that you could, and I miss those days. But anyway, do some research on the next firearm, see what looks good, save some money up. When this is all over, reward yourself, and you're going to be all set to go. All right, so for number 3, all right, I've got a podcast called The Caliber Corner. We run it Monday nights at 6 o'clock Central Time over on YouTube. And one of the things that we try to do is we try to research a different caliber for every episode. We talk about the history of it. We look at what firearms are available from it. And I really enjoy that process because it teaches me a lot about different types of ammo, bullets, weapons, and so on that are out there that I didn't know anything about before. So I want you to do the same thing. I want you to pick an oddball caliber like, say, .225 Winchester or .303 Savage or .3220. Check it out, research it, teach yourself a little bit about it. Is that caliber still around? These little unusual calibers are sometimes referred to as wildcat calibers, and they're not necessarily full production calibers, but there are firearms out there that exist that shoot it. It's always a lot of fun to see what kind of different types of ammunition are out there once you get away from the norm. So number 3, check out some oddball calibers. All right, so even though we're told right now to practice safe social distancing, something that you can do is go online, say look into the forums or look into places like Facebook or MeWe, and join some of the local gun groups. Just type in, say, like for me, Nebraska gun groups, and see what pops up. And you might be surprised with how close there are people in your neck of the woods that are into firearms like you. You know, you can instant message and chat each other. You can join into different groups and watch groups and so on. And it's a good way to stay social. It's healthy. It's good. It's a good way to get out of your cocoon. So turn off Netflix, get that computer fired up, meet up with some other people, chat, and discover and learn from each other. And I think you're going to be a lot happier during these times. All right, so number 1 might be one of those things that doesn't necessarily take a lot of your time, but it's one of those things that a lot of us don't necessarily do. Supporting the Second Amendment. All right, so just hear me out here. Do you know what the Second Amendment is? Do you know what the stand is on the representatives and the senators and so on in your area when it comes to the Second Amendment? If not, now's a good time to research those candidates. You know, we've got an election coming up. There's going to be some serious voting we have to do. Educate yourself on those candidates, whether you're pro or against, whatever. That's up to you. But do go out there and educate yourself. Promote the Second Amendment. Join some 2A gun groups on Facebook. Get out there and kind of exchange your ideas and so on. Look into the 2A. Maybe start your own little gun group also. So like I said, this isn't necessarily about cleaning guns or showing off what you got and so on, but this is about promoting a right that allows us to have these things. Okay, it's an amendment that says that we can have a right to bear arms. So number 1, get active in the 2A community any way, shape, or form that you can. You can do a lot of this stuff virtually. Write your senator, write your representatives, check out your local gun laws, make sure you're educated, and you're all set to go. All right, so that is my top 10 list of things to do while you're stuck at home that are gun related. If you've got any ideas, I want you to go ahead and chime in down below and just put them in this video. Give people some other suggestions, some things that I didn't mention. These are things that just kind of I pulled off the top of my head. So anyway, I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe, keep a level head, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. Please like or subscribe, and we got a lot more content coming your way. All right, take care. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.